So today I wanted people to be able to understand that what's going inside the brain, because I think when we see the why, it really helps us then to understand and then to be able to support and provide strategies, not only for us as the adults, but also for our kids, so that it becomes one of those habits that we can ingrain in them without being the nagging parent, right? The one that tells kids what to do all the time and we're still not getting anywhere.
Okay. So basically what we're talking about is we're correcting domestic blindness in young adults.
We're supporting.
We're supporting. Okay, supporting. Okay, supporting. Okay, so why is it that parents and children see spaces differently?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, we need to look at development.
Yeah.
All right. It's really, really important that we take a step back and we always say they're just children first, okay? Because our brains are fully developed. Their brains are still developing.
Yeah.
Okay. So their brains are developing as according to the environment, their input that they're getting, and also developmentally according to their age. And what we're talking about right now is that executive functioning and being able to identify and see things that really need to be done. Now, sometimes we may be thinking, oh, well, some adults also still don't see and do those things, right? But that can also happen because when they were a younger child as well, that they may not have also had that opportunity to develop that skill using their executive functioning. So we are born with the capacity to be able to develop our executive functioning skills, but it still needs that support along the way to be able to teach those skills and in a non-threatening way.
Okay. So we need to develop those skills. If a child says, I just didn't see that, or is that a typical response for their neurological development of where they're at? So maybe they haven't developed the executive functions, or they're just domestically blind, like me.
Yeah, look, and sometimes, we can think straight away our default is, oh, well, that's a choice and that's behaviour. Because that's easy. It's easy for us to blame, right? And it kind of ticks the box. Whereas if we have to stop and think, okay, well, maybe they didn't see it. What else could we be doing here? And then thinking about, could this be related to what we call attention filtering? Okay, so this is terminology of attention filtering. And basically what happens is our brain has a job of being able to act as a gatekeeper for the brain, okay? If we have too many things that the brain needs to focus on, it will literally overload. All right. We might see, shutdowns of explosions and all sorts of things because there's too much. So if you're driving in the car, you're not going to remember every single number plate, every single street sign, every single traffic light, or every single thing that's happened on the way, because the brain said to you, we're just going to get from here to here, and that's what we're going to focus on. And so it filtered all that stuff out. So if you're then walking through the house, your job maybe as a parent, you see all those things. Right? Because you want to have a tidy house and you want to be able to see these things put away. But if your brain is at a different level, so our children, their job is to filter that stuff out. All right? And our job as well then is then to think, okay, so is this where their brain is at? And how can I support them so that we can gradually teach them without that overload of that filtration system on one thing at a time? Because the other thing to remember is that when the brain is overloaded, it will delete more. So when you find, if you find that you generally kind of find it really hard to see any of those things, usually the brain could be under some kind of chronic stress. It's got a chronic sense of overload. There's just too much going on. Sensory overload is a biggie, right? Some people see things and it's just way too much. Could be emotional load, time pressure, everything that probably everyone goes, yes, that's all of us anyway. But so that's why this is going to become a little bit more of an overwhelm. Okay, sounds good. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back in a moment and continue the conversation with Natalie Nichols. You're with Doug and Nat, and you're here on Sunshine.